Hello guys, in this video we will implement together a World Cup group stage pointing system. As you see here, we have some groups, right, from A to H, and each group has 4 teams, and each team will play only 3 matches, and if they win, they will get 3 points. If they draw, they will get only 1 point, but no point if they lost. And here's also the team, this group system here. For example, we will work on this group E, which contains Spain, Japan, Germany, and Costa Rica. If you notice here, we have matches played, how many matches they are played. Also, we have win, draw, lost matches number, and how many goals they scored, how many goals they received, goal against here and goal for, and the difference between them. Then points, 3 for win and 1 for draw. I created fresh Laravel project here, and I prepared this simple design as you see here, group E, and I hard coded this view as you see, and everything will be dynamic by the end of the video. And also I will create my database, which is database World Cup. Let's migrate it here, PHP artisan migrate, and we will let Laravel create it, and our database created. Here is the information about the version which I use. So PHP artisan about, I am using Laravel 9.41, PHP version 8.1. So the first thing we need is, as you see here, is each group has 4 teams. So first of all, we need to create our groups model, PHP artisan make model group -m for migration and s for seeder. Back to our code again, app models, and here's our group models, right? So for our fillable here, we will fill name, right? And back to migrations, groups, here our groups table, we need to add table string name, and it will contain only 1 letter, and we don't actually need to use timestamps. Back to group seeder, inside seeders here, and I will create an array for groups here, groups, and it will be multi-dimensional array for group E and our teams. So we need to create also our teams model, right? Let's create our model, PHP artisan make model team -migration, and here our team model, and I will use guarded with empty array, which means all columns are fillable, and I will create a relationship function group and return this belongs to group class. And for class also, for group class, we will create function teams return has many teams, or has 4 teams, has many team class. All right, back to our teams migration table here, teams, and first of all we need to create table foreign ID, group ID, and it's constrained to groups table constrained, and we have table name or team name string name, and we will have columns for these data, win matches, draw, lost, and we will use accessor to create this value, right? As you see here, in this diagram, matches played is the sum of won plus lost plus draw matches, right? So we will create 3 columns for this data. So here table unsigned tiny integer, because value is between 0 and 3, will be win or 1, right? Same thing for draw and lost, and also for other data, goals for and goals against, these two ones, goal for and goal against. So goals for, here also goals against, and last one is points, here table points, because the maximum will be 9. Alright, back again to our team model, and yeah, everything is okay, we don't have any errors. So let's migrate it, PHP artisan migrate, and our groups and teams table has been migrated. Back to our database, our World Cup database, here teams groups has been created, right? So back to our groups seeder, this one, group seeder, and let's create our teams. This one here, Spain, or let's start with Japan for other purpose. Let's group around them for each groups as group, here this one here, and I will say group equal to, or group model equal to group, our model, update or create name with group, but we will need to refer to the key. Let's use group here and teams, right? And also for each teams as team, we can create group model teams create name team, right? So let's use it in our database seeder. Let's remove it and use this call and group seeder class. All right, so let's try to seed it, and we will face some errors, and then we will learn some things, right? PHP artisan seed or db seed. Here we have syntax error inside our group model, sorry, group, we need a semicolon here, and let's rerun it again, db seed, and here is our first error because we removed timestamps from groups, if you remember here. So we need to disable it inside our model also. So here public or protected timestamp equal to false, back again, timestamp, sorry, try again, and yeah, timestamp must be public. Refresh db seed, and we have another error. One doesn't have a default value. So if you notice here in these matches, this didn't started yet, by default zero's value. So back to our teams table and set all of these values as 0, right? So here default will be 0, We need also to remigrate it, php artisan migrate fresh, right? So php artisan db seed, and it's seeded. So back to our table, refresh here, we have 4 teams, right, as you see, with default values zeros, and we have one group, which is group E. The next step is creating our controller. Let's create it. php artisan make controller, and I will name it world cup controller. And here's our controller, world cup controller, and our method, which is function index, right? And here I will return view welcome, and let's define it inside our web.php file. Remove it here, back to our code again, and let's visit our page. This one must give us the same result and the same result. So first of all, I want to get our group here, group equal to group find one, right? And also load our teams, this group's team here, and I will compact here group, right? So back to our view, welcome.view, and first of all, I want to use our group name. So here group name, refresh, and the same result, because our group name is E, right? And also I will set our table here. So instead of this of all duplicated values, let's remove it, and we need only one. So here add for each group teams, right? As team, we will back here team name, team matches played, and goals difference, right? And points, is it points or bts? Teams, it's bts. All right, back to our code again, refresh, and we have some data null, as you see here, goal difference and matches played. So the first thing, we need to get matches played. So back to our team model, and we will use accessor function get matches played attribute, and it's equal to return this, as you see, 1 plus draw plus lost. So this 1 plus this draw plus this lost. Back to our database to check results, teams, so it must return 0 plus 0 plus 0, it's equal to 0. So here, let's fix it quickly. Back to our view, refresh, and it returns 0. Let's set it for Japan, for example 1. Here set 1, then 1 plus 0 plus 0 equal to 1, and it's 1, right? Back again to set it to 0, it's 0 and works fine. Let's also calculate goals difference attribute, this one, as you see, and back to our team model and function get goal difference here attribute, and return this goals 4 minus this goals against, right, refresh, and it's equal to zeros. So now let's add values to our database, like the real example here, this one. So let's add 1 here, this one here, data for Japan first, Japan 1, and goals for is 2, as you see here, and the goals against 1, then points also equal to 3, right? Save here, 2113. Yeah, back to refresh our code, and as you see, matched blade 1, goal for 2, goal against 1, and 2 minus 1 equal to 1, and points 3. Let's fill for Spain, back and refresh, the same results, right? Also the same thing for Germany from this result. So it received 2 and scored 1, so lost 1. Same thing for Costa Rica, 1, scored nothing, and received 7 goals. Back to our code, refresh, and as you see here, 2 minus 1, 7 minus 7, 1, 2, 0, 7 also, and the same as group here. But if you notice here, Spain is in the first place, then Japan, because both of them has maximum points, but Spain has more goal difference. So let's start using our order by method. Back to our code again, and for load here we will use array, and we use function query, and I want to say query order by points, right? Disk, by the way. So back again, is it enough? I don't think so. Here's our code, refresh, it keeps the same sort, and we need to use order by row, and I won't say goal for or goals for minus goals against, right, disk. So we may receive an error. So refresh, we received this error. Why? Because our value is unsigned. Unsigned value mean starts from 0, 1, 2, 3 for positive numbers only, but goal difference may be negative, like that, minus 7, minus 1. So back here to our database, we need to change these two types to integer, right? Not unsigned or tiny int. So we can change it easily without losing data using update migration. PHP artisan make migration, right? Update goals column in teams table. Back to our VS Code. Here's our migrations. Last one here. Everything is ready. So table integer, right? Goals for column, and change. The same thing for goals against, and let's roll back it here. So the same thing but unsigned. Back again. So PHP artisan migrate and refresh. Now it works. Back again to our query here, and back to our page. This one, refresh again, and now it works. As you see, Spain is the first place because they have the goal difference here 7, and Japanese has only 1, right? Back to our code. Here is the trick about that. Also, if you notice here, we return only one group just for testing, but let's make it more dynamic and let's set groups, and without find we can use group with, right here, and groups. Back again, we may have error, yeah, and find variable group. Back to our plate here, and we will loop around all groups also, right? So add for each here, groups as group. First of all, display group name, right here, and also take table inside this for each, inside table, this one, not end, this one here, cut, paste, take this spot again outside, refresh. Yeah, we forget about using a get here, right? Refresh. Now it works fine. Let's add another group, for example in our group seeder, and for example here group A, right? And let's see, group A, yeah, Netherlands, and let's comment it to not be overridden. So PHP artisan db seed, and it's seeded. Back to our groups, we have another group. Back to our teams, we have another teams here, right? This one, and the group ID is 2. Refresh our view here, and also group A. Let's fill their data. Back and refresh. Here 3. Actually no difference between them because both of them are equals in everything, right, as you see here. And yeah, here's how to implement group system for football championship. Support me by clicking on like, share and subscribe. See you in next videos.